Tribal Council meeting to order. Melvina, would you give invocation, please?
Edora galandi he o jili heli gahandeski atino. Niuna de jostan heli do hest ahandogi lomstane oswal lilo angelegis gadu. Neo desk iski on hito hest do you tange. Father, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for all your blessings. Lord, we just ask that you be with each and every one and guide us and protect us. In your name we pray. Amen.
All right. Shelley, would you do roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Keith Austin. Here. Danny Callison. Here. Julia Coates. Here. Sean Crittenden. Here. Joe Deere. Mike Dobbins. Here. Rex Jordan. Here. Johnny Kidwell. Here. Darrell Legg. Here. Wes Snowfire. Dora Petzkowski. Here. Joshua Sam. Here. Mike Shambaugh.
Here.
Melvina Shotpouch. E.O. Smith. Here. Condessa Teehee. Victoria Vesquez. We have a quorum.
Okay, if you've had a chance to look at the minutes, could I have a motion, please?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right. First of all, we have our State of the Nation address by our Principal Chief, Chuck Hoskin, Jr.
LCO members of the council, Mr. Speaker, it's an honor and a privilege to report to you here in our first regular council meeting of 2023. Much to update the council on since our last visit in these chambers. One of the highlights since we last visited was the opening of the domestic violence transitional living shelter in Stillwell. I think it's an impactful project that I think will make a difference in the lives of people who need our help through our One Fire program, and I think it can be something that in the future we can expand across the reservation, because unfortunately there is a need for domestic violence intervention services to provide healing and comfort to the victims and survivors of domestic violence. But we, I think, are leading the way, and I think it's also another great investment in Adair County that I think demonstrates again our willingness to put direct resources into something that is a problem that we all must face. I have sent to the council legislation, and I know it'll be considered at the Rules Committee, but I wanted to remark upon it and appreciate the council members for their input as we developed it, to commit $100 million to another issue that is of great importance, and that is the issue of drug addiction, of mental wellness, and I appreciate, again, working with the council and look forward to the discussion at the Rules Committee. But the idea that we could secure through the work of our Attorney General's office nearly $100 million in opioid settlement dollars, and then we add on top of that the e-cigarette settlement, brings us to over $100 million, and to be able to invest that in something that is of generational impact to the Cherokee people, I think we have an opportunity to do it, and I look forward to visiting more with the council about that later in the month. In the area of government relations, we, of course, continually engage with the Congress, with federal agencies, and with the administration in Washington, and achieved, I think, something important for all of Indian country, and that is the passage of the Durban-Feeling Language Act by the Congress late in the calendar year, signed by the President. It will be something that will help all Native peoples across the country who are involved in preserving and revitalizing Native languages, and certainly at the Cherokee Nation, as the council knows, because you have invested historic sums into our own effort to preserve and revitalize the Cherokee language. And isn't it wonderful to see that piece of federal legislation that affects all of Indian country named after Durban-Feeling, our late great language warrior. Mr. Speaker, had the honor of being in your district in December as we signed a memorandum of understanding with Jay Public Schools to bring housing to the Jay community and to do some things with the school to improve the school, which is a win-win for everyone. This is the kind of thing, Mr. Speaker, you and I talked the day we were in Jay to sign that MOU that we want to do across the reservation. And so as we see opportunities, particularly to work with public schools to improve public education, to improve housing stock in the community, we need to do it. And really thanks to the Housing, Jobs, and Sustainable Communities Act that this council has passed and reauthorized, we're able to do that. And we're looking for those opportunities across the reservation. But it certainly was a wonderful day in Jay. The football stadium that will be vacated to build a new football stadium will be the home of more Cherokee homes in Jay in the near future. So thank you for your hospitality the day we were there, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for your leadership on this issue. Also in the area of housing, I made an announcement just before the end of the year that Todd Enlow would return to lead the Housing Authority of the Cherokee Nation. And I hope you all have had an opportunity to visit with Todd, but certainly since he has taken the helm at the Housing Authority, he and I are talking on a daily basis. The Deputy Chief is talking to him on a daily basis to make sure that these high expectations that the council has for housing, that I have for housing, that the Deputy Chief has for housing, and most importantly, that the Cherokee people have for housing are met. And I think we have a team, a leadership team at the Housing Authority that's now expanded to meet really what is an historic effort on housing. I mean, when you think about the dollars that we're putting into housing at the Cherokee Nation now, there is exponential growth compared to just a few years ago. I think we need to keep that up, but if we're going to keep that up, we need to have a leadership team that is right-sized for the moment, and I think with Todd Enlow at the helm, we're doing that. Jerry Killer will continue, as you know, to be an integral part of the leadership of the Housing Authority, and we certainly appreciate her service. We have visited a couple of communities where we're investing in community buildings lately, Mr. Speaker, and we visited, the Deputy Chief and I, Marble City, where we're making a significant investment. And I think one thing to remember there is when we invest in a community center in a small community like Marble City, we're doing a couple of things. One is we're investing for that community, as we should across the reservation, the same in Kenwood, Mr. Speaker, in your district, but we're also doing things like improving the infrastructure. So when you see the millions of dollars being invested, often what that also means is an improvement in water capacity, for example, for public safety and future growth. It's also, I think, a way to send a message to the entire reservation that we're not going to leave any community behind. And there's been many, many decades, many generations in which some of these communities have not seen investment. And thanks to this council, thanks to the work of the Deputy Chief, and I try to contribute as well, we're making sure that these communities that, as the Deputy Chief and I often say when we travel, that the rest of the world may have forgotten about, but we haven't forgotten about them. We're going to continue to look for those opportunities across the reservation to make these kind of investments that we think will sustain Cherokee community life for generations to come. Mr. Speaker, yesterday I had the good fortune of being in Muskogee for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I know there were celebrations across the Cherokee Nation Reservation. I know Councilor Deere was in Tulsa, and many of you no doubt celebrated in your districts. And so it was good to have that opportunity in Muskogee, and it certainly was beautiful weather. Mr. Speaker, with that, that concludes my State of the Nation. It is an honor to serve, sir. What up?
Thank you, Chief. Great update. Okay, next we have our Cherokee Warrior Veterans Awards. Deputy Principal Chief Brian Warner and S. Joe Crittenden, Secretary of Veteran Affairs. Come on up. How many vets we have here today, Deputy?
2, sir.
2, good deal. One of our favorite parts of our tribal council meetings.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you as always, sir. Yes, sir. Good. Well, Mr. Speaker, members of the council, members of our audience, it is always an honor to be here during this time to do this. And just on occasion, I like to make some short remarks. And today I would like to remark on our veterans that have served throughout time, and in particular our Native American veterans that have served as we award our Cherokee Warrior Awards. But I want you to think about, when we talk about language preservation and language perpetuation and the things that we do, I want you to think about one thing. When you think back into these wars and this time, think about our code talkers and what native languages meant to the freedoms that we enjoy today in this country. So just think about that. And if you think our efforts, if anybody thinks about our efforts to save the language and different things and worry about the importance of it, think about that one important aspect right there that goes back to wartime and memorial when we think about our code talkers and different things and what that effort meant. If it wasn't for the families that grew up speaking our native languages all across Indian country, things may look a little bit different on this soil that we stand on today. So with that, members of the council, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of a grateful nation, today our first Cherokee Warrior Award goes to Mark Allen Prather. Mr. Prather joined the United States Navy on February 1967. He completed boot camp at San Diego Recruit Training. Mr. Prather was assigned to Great Lakes Naval Center for 12 weeks engineering school and was designated as a machinist mate. Soon after graduating from the Great Lakes Naval Center, he made the flight from Travis Air Force Base, San Diego, to Yokota Air Force Base in Japan. Mr. Prather aboard his first ship, an old World War II destroyer, the USS Black DD-666, and went to the Vietnam gun line to provide the fire support for various Army and Marine forces inland. Mr. Prather made 2 tours of Vietnam aboard the USS Black DD-666 until decommissioned in 1969. At that time, Mr. Prather had achieved the rank of second-class machinist mate. Mr. Prather had 1 more deployment in Vietnam aboard the USS John Paul Jones DDG-32, a guided missile destroyer. Mr. Prather was honorably discharged on October of 1970. Medals of Service: the National Defense Service Medal, Vietnam Service Medal with 2 Bronze Stars, Republic of Vietnam Campaign Medal with device. Mr. Prather, on behalf of a grateful nation, sir, we thank you for your service to our country. Mr. Prather.
Mr. Prater, Deputy, whose district?
This is, I was District 14, Mr. Keith Austin.
Hey, he gets his job done.
All right, I'm going to give a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, and then you want to go to... Can they do it on your phone? Yes, please. On there? Here you go. All right, another count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Any words, sir?
Have any words?
Thank you. All right, our second Cherokee Warrior Award goes to Stephen Michael Cheatham. Mr. Cheatham joined the Marines on March 5, 1996. He served as a C-130 Hercules loadmaster. Mr. Cheatham was specially selected to become the member of the world-renowned Blue Angels demonstration team. Additionally, he served as a Jungle Warfare Training Center instructor and a tracking expert. Mr. Cheatham served as a detachment commander responsible for protecting the Department of State embassy located in Algiers, Algeria. Mr. Cheatham also was deployed to boots on the ground to Iraq with the Marine Corps' storied Fighting 5th Corps. Mr. Cheatham was honorably discharged on March 31 of 2016 as he continues to work as a cadet training instructor for the esteemed Texas A&M Corps of Cadets. Medals of Service: Air Medal Individual Action, Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal 3, Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal 2, Joint Meritorious Unit Award, Navy Unit Commendation twice, Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal 6 times, National Defense Service Medal, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, Kosovo Campaign Medal, Iraq Campaign Medal, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, Armed Forces Service Medal, Sea Service Deployment Ribbon 3 times, Marine Corps Drill Instructor, Meritorious Mast, NATO Medal, Expert Rifle Qualification Badge, Expert Pistol Qualification Badge, and Combat Aircrew Insignia. Mr. Cheatham, on behalf of a grateful nation, sir, we thank you for your service to our country. I'd like to invite our both at-large counselors to come and join us.
I'll give the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Family? Come on, brother. Well, you raised a couple of big boys.
I've got a big one too.
Where you want to go? Right here with your brother, sir. He's got to do the tag along.
Another count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Any words, Mr. Cheatham?
No, it's just an honor to be here. Thank you, council, for letting us come up here. There's no way I was going to take this in the mail. Thank you for the opportunity to come up here, and it's just an honor. I wish my dad was here to see it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, members of the council, that concludes our Cherokee Medal of Patriotism awardees tonight. And again, I just want to thank each of you for your service to our communities and participating in that spirit of God Doogie. It really works when we put a best foot forward and we go through it in faith. So, what don't?
Thank you, Deputy. Where are you from, sir?
I'm from Bryan, Texas, sir.
Bryan, Texas. All right. Good deal. So glad to have you. Thank you. All right. Action of unfinished business. There is none. Committee reports, monthly reports, Cherokee Nation Businesses, LLC. Mr. Chuck Garrett, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tribal Council, it's a pleasure to be here. Honored to represent the hardworking men and women of Cherokee Nation Businesses. We are reporting, and you have the packets for the November monthly financial results. I think you'll see when you have an opportunity to look deeper into them that we are ahead of budget, ahead of schedule, but on target for our goals for the year. We have on both sides of our business within the gaming hospitality and also on the federal contracting. We are having great results financially, and I think poised for a really strong year. We did have a result from the piece of litigation remaining in Arkansas that I wanted to address with you all tonight, just to give you perspective on that. That case was a case brought by one of the other candidates for the license, a group out of Mississippi that had pursued that license. course, they were disappointed when we received the license, and they filed a lawsuit against the Arkansas Racing Commission, claiming that we did not have the requisite experience in gaming. Of course, we've been at this a while. We've been at this a couple of decades and have more than sufficient qualifications in history in the gaming industry. And the Arkansas Racing Commission, in evaluating our application, concluded the same thing. The trial court judge that heard the case, and we expected this outcome because of that particular judge's position on some other matters related to us as an entity. We expected him to rule against us, and he did. And we immediately filed our appeal to the Arkansas Supreme Court. At the Supreme Court level, we are 4-0. We have had 2 other matters from the same judge, which is kind of why we felt like it was likely that he would rule against us. And so we feel extremely confident that we have the right legal arguments, that the facts are on our side. And as I mentioned, the Arkansas Racing Commission is actually the defendant in this case. They're represented by the Attorney General of Arkansas. I just want to quickly quote from an article that was in the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette last week, quoting the new Attorney General. It says, the issuance of the Pope County casino license by the Arkansas Racing Commission was legal in all respects. I look forward to advocating for that position before the Arkansas Supreme Court. I'm confident that the ruling won't last long. I appreciate the Attorney General's support of our candidacy, and I appreciate the fact that he agrees with our legal analysis as well. If, in fact, after review by the Supreme Court, they were to agree with the trial court judge, what does that mean? That simply means that the process would start again. The county quorum judge in Pope County, Judge Cross, who issued the letter of support for us the first time, has committed to us privately and publicly that he would be absolutely willing and interested in issuing another letter of support for us. So basically, it would be a reset. We would get another letter of support. We would go before the Racing Commission. We would file with a different name, Cherokee Nation Entertainment, the name of record for our gaming operations here in Oklahoma. The court's finding was that Legends Casino and Resort did not have any history and experience in gaming. That entity is owned wholly by Cherokee Nation Entertainment. So to put a little different spin on this, let's say, I've been mowing yards all my life. Councilor Critton and I decide we'll go into business last week, and we call it Peavine Yard Service. And Peavine Yard Service itself, as an entity, doesn't have any experience. But Councilor's been mowing yards for 40 years. I've been mowing yards for 50 years. And together, we, as owners of that newly formed entity, have lots of experience. That's essentially where we're at on, and that's the legal argument, that the experience of the management team, the experience of the board of directors, the experience of the rank and file employees transfer to an entity. That's who has the experience. It's not an entity that has the experience. So that's the argument we'll be reiterating before the Arkansas Supreme Court. We expect a positive outcome, and so we'll keep you apprised, and informed. So we'll go through some questions at your discretion, Speaker, but I just wanted to emphasize that because I know we've all been sort of reading about that outcome, and I wanted to put some context in it or to it. I also have a couple just other little announcements I wanted to make on the non-financial side, but I think that are important for you all to be aware of. So, as you know, we have the Cherokee Nation Film Office that we have been very excited about, and they are currently at Park City at the Sundance Film Festival, supporting Erica Tremblay's Fancy Dance film, which has been among the first recipients of the Cherokee Nation Film Incentive. And that film has been nominated in the U.S. Dramatic Competition for an award. So our team is there supporting that film, which was filmed here in Cherokee Nation. It's just exactly what this whole incentive was designed to do, bring the film industry here to the reservation. And it's an indigenous cast, so it's very exciting. The film will be shown January 27th and also be available online, so we'll be able to share that with you all at some point. Also, I wanted to just share with you all that the Cherokee Nation Cultural Tourism Team is currently seeking artwork by youth of Cherokee Freedmen descendants in grades 6 through 12 to expand our current exhibition at the Cherokee Nation History Museum. This is the youth art show, which will be in a competition, and there'll be a $1,500 prize awarded to the winning art. So I just wanted to make that something you're aware of. The show will open on February 1st. So, Mr. Speaker, that concludes my report, and happy to answer questions on any subject.
Does anybody have any questions for CEO? Councilman Coates.
Yeah. Who should the Freedmen Youth Artists be in touch with?
Let's see if I have this information right off. I'm going to get that to you, and I
Okay.
can do that right away. You betcha.
All right, I see no more questions. Sarah, good report. Thank you. And thank you for continuously fighting for our nation. I know that, this has been a battle, and, you guys have risen to it every time. Have utmost faith in you, and again, thank you for protecting our interests.
It's an honor. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Okay, that'll do committee reports. Monthly reports are through. Old business, none pending. New business, Councilman Callison.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda to include the 4 items that we were presented on the paper.
We have a motion and a second to add items 1 through 4 to the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 1, Councilman Sam, would you take that, please?
Yes, this is a resolution authorizing the Cherokee Nation Warehouse to donate surplus items to Cave Spring School. And I put this in form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Number 2, Councilman Smith, would you take that, please?
Yes, it's a resolution authorizing the Cherokee Nation Warehouse to donate surplus items to Oaks Fire Department. Put that in form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Number 3, Councilman Jordan, would you take that, please?
Yes, this is a resolution authorizing the Cherokee Nation Warehouse to donate surplus items to Bragg's Public Schools. And I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Number 4, Councilman Austin, would you take that, please?
Yes, this is an act amending Legislative Act 30-32, authorizing the comprehensive operating budget for fiscal year 2023, Mod 3, and declaring an emergency. I put that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Okay, on that act, did you say 3022, Councilman? Okay, okay,
I can't swear what I said.
okay, all right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, the motion carries. Okay, new business, that'll conclude that. Do I have any announcements to my right? Councilman Callison.
Yes, sir. I have three gentlemen that we lost in the last month. First of all, Mr. Robert Henson was a first language speaker and a veteran. He's going to be sorely missed. Reverend Steve Osage of Country Baptist Church in Locust Grove. Reverend Osage served in both North and South Dakota, leading the First Nations Association, Native American, and making several trips back doing evangelistic work. He was a soft-spoken man of God and loved sharing the gospel. My third gentleman is Mr. Richard Crittenden of Pryor, passed on December 9th of 2022. Mr. Crittenden was a proud Cherokee citizen, and his grandfather, John Ross Dull Hole Crittenden, was a survivor of the Trail of Tears. He was a lifetime resident of Mayes County. He was a servant of his community, serving as a volunteer firefighter, Reserve Mayes County Sheriff's Department, Reserve Pryor Police Department, and a member of the Odd Fellows. Mr. Crittenden is left behind and was married 60 years to his wife, Clarine, and also leaves behind one daughter, Lori Ballou of Pryor, along with a granddaughter, Brooke Lloyd, and a grandson, Doug Dixon, and his wife of Pryor that are with us tonight. He is going to be sorely missed. Thank you.
Councilman Austin.
Yes, I'd like to remember John Gill, who passed away this past month. He was a first language speaker. He was a dedicated artist and very, very traditional man that I was honored to call a friend. Also, Betty Horner, who was age 97. She was the grandmother of our former Youth Tribal Council member, Callie Horner, from a few years back. And she was a truly beloved matriarch of her family and her community of Chelsea. And then there was Mr. Thomas Burr, who just passed in the last few days. He was a longtime retired postmaster of the community of Ulaga and board member of the Victory Cherokee organization in Collinsville.
Thanks, sir. Councilwoman Coates.
Yes. I'd like to announce, since this is happening right before our next meeting, it's still a few weeks away, but we will be back in Florida with the at-large community, the Cherokees of Central Florida, sponsoring in conjunction with the Cherokee Nation on February 11th, I believe. Is that right? And we will be in Lakeland, Florida with the chief, deputy chief. Registration will be there doing photo ID. So everybody in Central Florida and all over the Southeast, please come out and see us. Thanks.
Awesome. Councilman Crittenden.
Right, long-time game warden and just a good person we lost in Adair County. His name was Al Hembry. Like you to continue to remember that family in your prayers.
Thanks, sir. Anybody to my left? Okay. I'd just like to say that, it's good to see that we continue to be proactive in our nation. Our chief and our deputy chief, we continue to do things to make things better for our people. We continue to be proactive. We're building buildings that we can house abuse victims and protect them. There are so many things, good things that are going on in the Cherokee Nation right now. And it is an honor to support. I know this council is honored to support all of those things, and we appreciate you bringing those in front of us and giving us that opportunity. I'd also like to say thank you to gentlemen for coming today. We thoroughly enjoyed you, and we as a council, we thank you for your service, because we wouldn't be here without people like you. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Also, I'd like to recognize a couple of people who are here. We have our Chief of Staff, Corey Bunch, Secretary of State, Tina Glory Jordan, and we have our Treasurer, Janice Taylor, some guy named Jerry over there in the corner. I can't remember his last name, but he's here. But also somebody who gets skipped over quite a bit, and she does a ton of stuff, is Tara Lee Montgomery. She is always running back and forth, and, getting things prepared, paperwork that we need. So she is a lifeline between us, the administrative office, and we do appreciate you. We just want to say that. Thank you.
One of the constituents,
Who?
Horace Foreman.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yeah. Gentleman from Oaks, family known in the community, Foreman family, big in the rodeo scene, and a great guy, a guy named Tars Foreman passed just recently, a couple days ago. So remember that family in your prayers. Thank you, Melvina. Is there anybody else? Okay, our next tribal council meeting will be held on February 13th at 6 p.m. here at the tribal headquarters. I need one more motion. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We are adjourned.